Hello, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Today's very exciting because I'm starting my new Aldi series. Yeah. The new Aldi series is going to be 3 for 15, so 3 big family meals for £15 or less. It's similar to 5 for 25, but I think 3 for 15 is going to be easier to bang out the recipes. I've got so many recipes I want to share, and it's really difficult finding the time to plan, film, edit, and be a toddler mum, and have a life, and run a home, and things like that. So I think 3:15 is going to be beneficial for us all. I'm creating 3 absolutely delicious, nutritious meals on a budget. These are all going to be meals from Aldi, so everything I'm going to be cooking with, you can find these ingredients on a budget from your local Aldi. What I will say is I do love to create recipes where you can sort of cook from scratch, but they're really simple, easy, achievable for most people. I'm really passionate about sort of eating nutritious but delicious foods. You don't have to buy things that are like sort of pre-made that might have not the greatest ingredients in. You want to like properly nourish your body, but you also want your food to be super good, super tasty, super easy to make, and on a budget. If you're not already, follow me over on Instagram because I'm also going to be creating lots of £1 only meals. So £1 only reels, you're going to see quite a lot of those coming up, and I always share sort of recipes and things like that on Instagram. Make sure you're subscribed down below because I don't want you to miss this whole series. There's quite a lot I've got planned. So today's video is the haul with prices, and then the next video you're going to see is the cooking video. So make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on that. I've got my receipt with the final cost. I'm very glad it turned out just as I wanted. I'm going to also at the end of this video put up a list of cupboard essential ingredients that you're going to need, and there's not too many cupboard essentials because most of it we've covered here. So recipe number 1 is going to be my Superfood noodle ramen. I can't wait to make this. This is so nutritious. It really feels like you're going out and paying for this meal as well. Super duper easy to make, absolutely delicious, and yeah, these are the ingredients you're going to need. So first ingredients you're going to need is an egg, so 1 egg per bowl of ramen you're going to make. Eggs great to include in meals. Now the eggs I got are organic. As much as I try to keep most things on a budget, I don't sort of like to get like super duper cheap eggs, just personal preference. I always go for like the higher end organic ones. So you can save a bit of money if you get the more budget friendly eggs, but these eggs are £2.19. Your cost might be less if you get the non-organic, and we're going to be using 1 per meal, so we're only going to be using 4 of these. Next thing you're going to need are the noodles. So I always recommend buying dried noodles. These noodles from Aldi. These are 95p, and you get like a really healthy portion out of these. They're dried, so obviously they really increase in size. But we're going to be using probably about 3/4 of this pack to make 4 different ramen bowls. Pop these in your cupboard anyway. I just find these are so great for when you want to make like a last minute meal. And they've got a lot less sort of like hidden additives in them than sort of some of the other sort of dried noodles. We're going to be putting some carrots in there. So I've got a bag of carrots, 1 kilogram are 60p. What I will say is a few of these ingredients we're going to be using for other meals. So one of my top tips is that when you're meal planning for a week, I try to use recipes that incorporate ingredients that can be used over multi-meals. So carrots I know that I'm going to be using for this meal, but also the other meals we've got planned in today's video. And the same with the onions, the same with the limes. That stops food waste, it reduces your budget. Yeah, you're not throwing any food away because you're using it for other meals. And yeah, it's just a good tip. I'm going to need a soy sauce for this, so I've gone for dark soy sauce. Soy sauce from Aldi is 55p. You're also going to be needing some limes. So limes are £1.15, so that's like probably one of the pricier things in today's shopping list. But you're going to be using limes in this recipe and the other 2 recipes we've got in this series. So that's fabulous because nothing's going to go to waste. So we're also going to be using some red cabbage, which was 75p. Again, we're using it for Superfood noodle ramen and also other recipes. So some spring onions going to be used in that recipe. And then we've got cupboard essentials, which I'm going to list at the end, but things like hot water, vegetable stock. And then some radishes. I'm going to be adding some radishes. They give it a really nice crunch. The radishes are 52p. So that's that recipe covered. It's a super delicious recipe. I can't wait to make it. So the next recipe we're making is teriyaki sticky chicken, rice and a crunchy sort of Asian inspired coleslaw. Just can't wait for this. So you're going to need some chicken. I picked up the large packet of chicken thighs, which is £2.85 from Aldi. That's going to be spread out over 2 recipes, so some in today's recipe and some in another recipe that we have coming up. So we're going to be needing chicken thighs. I get chicken thighs with the bone and skin on. So with this recipe, you're also going to be needing the red cabbage. The price we've already accounted for. You're going to need some of the carrots. Again, we've already accounted for. You're going to need some red onions. So red onions will go into this recipe and they are 95p for this large pack. You're going to need some of the spring onions and some lime. Some lime juice goes really well with this. And then cupboard essentials, which are going to be rice. And we may make a bread from scratch, just from a bit of flour, water, and maybe a bit of yogurt. So that's going to be a very delicious recipe. It's super duper simple, yet delicious. Oh, and for 55p, you're also going to be needing the teriyaki sauce that Aldi sell. I'm going to be making some of these recipes in the air fryer, but when if you haven't got an air fryer and I talk about the recipes, I'll also be talking about how you can make them not in an air fryer. So I'm going to cover all bases. The next thing I'm going to be making is Greek pita pockets. I made these a couple of weeks ago before we went on holiday. They're sort of like a spring summer thing that we bring out every year, and we sort of change how we have the recipe, but I feel like I've absolutely mastered how I love the recipe. So Greek pita pockets, we call them. So we're going to need some of the chicken from the large pack of chicken that we have. And obviously we've already accounted for that price, but they were £2.85. We're going to be needing some feta cheese, £1.69. Now there is a cheaper alternative, which I think is 89p, and it's called salad cheese. We're quite fussy though, so I've gone with this one, but you can save yourself even more money by getting the salad cheese. And you're also going to be needing some red cabbage, some red onions, and you're going to need some pitted olives. I've just gone for the jarred green pitted olives, which are 89p, and some soft white pittas. You can get the brown ones. They only had the white ones in today, so we went for the white. And the 6-pack, these are only 55p. A couple of these will actually probably be saved for the freezer. We're also going to need some lots and lots of oregano for this recipe. So I have actually included this in the main budget. This is 55p. I would normally say that's a cupboard essential. I do definitely think mixed herbs from Aldi, which is also 55p, should definitely be a cupboard essential. But yeah, this is included in the price. You're going to want to get yourself some oregano. And then we're going to bake some tomatoes. So I've got large vine ripe tomatoes, which we're going to bake for a little bit and cover with oregano and salt and pepper and olive oil. Oh, and they're all going to go in the pittas. I actually feel like I might have to make that recipe tonight. I was planning on making one of the others, but just talking about that has made me very, very hungry. So those are our 3 delicious recipes this week. Each recipe I have tried to include vegetables, protein, healthy fats, and make them delicious. So, and all on a budget. So I feel like they're amazing recipes that are going to be coming up. Make sure you have subscribed. I do need to tell you that at the moment Aldi have brought back their cast iron pans. Lawrence picked this one up. We actually really needed a sort of large roasting tin type thing, because we've only got like very, very old non-stick ones, and we are starting not to cook with those anymore because using cast iron or steel is a lot better for cooking with. So also these are absolutely fantastic because they go on the stove and they go in the oven. I use the green circle one in genuinely nearly every single recipe I make, nearly every single one. Lots of you ask where I get it from and when Aldi are selling them again, and they're currently selling some cast iron pans. So this was £19.99, which is a fraction of the price that you would pay for other brands. So I really recommend them. Honestly, you will use them a lot. They're super heavy, so if you do have, if you struggle with carrying things that are really heavy, so if you've got, I don't know, something in your wrists or hands that struggle to carry heavy things, you might not be able to cope with them, but I really think they're worth the investment, and I will try to link them down below on the Aldi website. Anyway, I hope you're all doing really well, and I'll see you again very soon for the cooking video.